Okay, with the tuning condenser removed, let's get this old line cord off of here. Okay, we got that out of the way. Alright, here you can take a good look at the hardware. So I'm going to start out by removing this hardware and get this tuning assembly away from the speaker. Okay, you saw the picture-in-picture there where I was removing this bracket here that holds the tuning indicator, and as well as it houses two pilot lamps. And this is just more for reference for me, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut these wires here on the positive side here and just get them out of the way. So, get my other cutters here. I'm going to just cut that at this point and cut that there. Now I can just remove this whole assembly and we'll set it aside. Very cool piece though. See if I can get a close-up of the dial here where you don't have much of a glare. Very neat. I hope there's somebody out there watching this video at some point in time that recognizes this dial. We can point it back to the manufacturer of the radio. That'd be really special. I know there's others out there that do this, but I like sticking my stuff in little baggies, so these are just, you know, reusable, and this will be the tuning. And I'll put all my hardware down there, the screws, fasteners, and this, and seal it up. And of course I've got all my still photography as well as my videos for reference, and at times you guys have seen I'll do a lot of hand drawing as well. Okay, with the hardware removed on the front for the tuning indicator itself, it looks like I really only have one fastener that's actually holding the speaker frame itself to the chassis, and that's located right here if that's showing up on camera. So I want to excuse me, I want to make some hand drawings real quick off camera for where all the field coil and output transformer leads attached to, just so I'll have that. I don't trust these old schematics. I want to make sure I've got it well documented on where all my connection points are, just for future reference. So let me get those documented on paper, and then cut those loose, and then get this speaker frame, field coil, output transformer removed from the chassis so we can start doing some cleaning there on the top. Okay, that worked out well. I've got my documentation complete, and here's a look at the chassis from the top down. And again, I've got the 5-inch speaker removed, which includes the field coil and the output transformer. So a little rust there you can see, and after I started working with the chassis a little bit more as well, you've got that familiar odor. So I think there's been some rats or mice crawling around on this thing at some point in time, so it's time to give the old hands a good wash here in just a moment, and clean this work area off as well. But here's a look at the speaker. Where the center pole piece is, there's a lot of dirt and grime around that center pole piece. So I'll try to blow it out with air, but it wouldn't surprise me once we get this thing fired up I don't have some garbage down in there, but I'll try to remove it. And again, as I noted just a bit ago, I think I noted, there's appears to be a small tear right here in the speaker cone. Other than that though, this thing's not in bad shape at all. And the speaker itself on the back, it's coated. Again, it's more of a brownish color, and there's a marking here, number 30. And I'm going to get this thing cleaned up real good, and then we'll do some testing, initial testing of the speaker using my audio generator, and we'll just generate some tone, run it through, and we'll also go ahead and check the DC resistance of the field coil, document that, and we'll do the same for the output transformer, just so we've got that documented also. Just make sure this thing is in good shape, and if not, we'll look for a substitute. I think I've got some others real similar to this I could substitute. Right, let me get this thing cleaned up here, and we'll do some more testing here on this speaker, field coil, and output transformer. I tell you, the speaker cleaned up great. You can see I just used some wipes on it, and I can still do some more detail cleaning, and probably even make this thing shine a little bit better. So got down in here, behind the field coil best I could, around the output transformer. There's still some dirt and dust here on the back of the speaker cone, but it's so fragile I don't really want to mess with it. So I'll probably use some more compressed air at a low pressure and try to clean that out. I also took time to kind of blow this out around that center pole piece. But let's do some DC resistant measurements at this point, and just check the field coil and the output transformer and document the results. Okay, here's a quick look at the field coil itself, and I'm reading about 2800 ohms or 2.8 K, and that's probably close to what it should be. I was referencing some schematics again. I haven't found the exact schematic for this radio, but I think what I saw referenced was around 3000 ohms, so I'll double check that and just make sure, but we'll just jot that number down at this point for reference. Again, 2.8 K or 2800 ohms. Okay, now I'm hooked up to the primary of the output transformer, and just double check myself here. Yep, it is the primary, and again I'm reading about 0.398 K or 398 ohms of resistance. So I think that's about what I would expect to see there as well. So let me document that, and then let's check the secondary side. There we go. So I'm about 0.5 ohms. So again, I'm looking at the output side of the output transformer, but I have not taken it loose from the voice coil itself. So let me just document this particular reading, and let's get the generator hooked up here, the audio generator, and just see if this speaker has any output. Okay, I'm not sure you can hear this on the microphone for the camera or not, but I'm inserting a signal here about 300 hertz. There's about 600 hertz, and again I'm going straight to the voice coil. So let me take it and switch it, and let's insert the signal through the primary itself of the output transformer and see what we get. Okay, that's a good sign. So at least we know the speaker's working. I can't tell you about this, the quality of the sound that we'll get. Again, my guess is there's probably some dirt or dust down around that center pole piece in the voice coil that I'll need to try to clean out. But time will tell. But that's a good sign there again. That's at 600 hertz, 400 hertz. and that's at 100, so I don't hear a lot of vibration there. It's a pretty low signal. Then again, my input point at this time is the primary to the output transformer. Again, just a real basic test. Okay, here's that close-up look again of the chassis itself with the speaker removed, and again I've got that tuning condenser out also. So I'm going to go ahead and do some cleaning here on the chassis. So let me throw on some gloves, give this thing a thorough cleaning, and then we'll see how much rust we have. I already see a few spots here, but it's not major, so I think it will clean up pretty well. Then I'll do some spot rust removal. Something else that comes in handy, these Lysol wipes. I mean, there's other brands as well that are similar now, but they've got this scrubbing side, and they come in real handy just for this initial cleaning of the chassis itself. Again, it's a little abrasive, but it's mild, and it will do no harm. So they come in really handy. Plus, again, you're disinfecting at the same time, getting rid of any viruses or bacteria that's left over. So again, I'm going to use this and just go over the entire chassis. Then you can see real quick how effective it is in getting the kind of the crud there off the top. So I'll do this 2 or 3 times. Dispose of these old nasty infected wipes, and then we'll come back, and that'll give me a closer look at the chassis itself and see what we need to do with the rust. Okay, I've wiped the chassis down now some 4 or 5 times, and you know, it's probably as clean as I'm going to get it with the wipes. So I'm going to go ahead and do some rust removal next on a couple locations and just see what kind of damage it does to the top side of the chassis. I really don't want to paint this. Don't know the value of the radio, but I don't know if I'll spend that kind of time on this particular restore. But I would like to remove the rust and put a rust inhibitor back on it, and just keep that from coming back in the future. So let me do a little spot rust removal over here on some of these areas that are very, very noticeable, and see what that does to the plating here on the chassis. Okay, couple hours of derusting, and what do you think? Looks a lot better. Got all the rust off the front fascia side, the top surface itself, and the back, which was very rusty. Surprising. A lot of it was just surface rust. So I'll probably go back and put some wax on this. Anyway, that's where we're at. And then of course I've got the tuning capacitor. It's ready as well, and you can see it here. And then I've got the speaker. It's cleaned up best I can get it, and it tests good. And I've got to let me get this back over here in the view. I've got to clean this area up right here where this small rip is in the speaker cone, and that's probably all I'm going to do to that. So it'll sit here. Make sure I don't throw my finger through it like such. So give you a general idea what it's going to look like. And the volume control was seized up, and you know, there's different products out there. I just used this you know, brakes loose fastener PB penetrating catalyst, so it did the number on that. It's completely free now, and I haven't checked it yet. So things go well. Over the next day or two, I'll go ahead and start doing the electrical restoration. We'll see if we can't make this thing play again. Appreciate you watching part 2. Appreciate my new subscribers out there as well.